The Galactic Academy's Xenobiology hall buzzed with nervous chittering as Professor Zelthan's 6 tentacles manipulated the containment field controls. The assembled students, a mix of Altarian crystal beings, methane-breathing Jovians, and silicon-based lithoids, pressed closer to their observation platforms, their various sensory organs focused intently on the reinforced chamber at the center of the amphitheater. "Today, younglings," Professor Zelthan announced, his voice carrying the authority that came from centuries of academic distinction, "you will witness one of the galaxy's most feared predators in action. The specimen we've acquired represents the apex of evolutionary violence, a creature so perfectly designed for combat that its mere presence can drive entire civilizations to abandon their worlds." Sarah Chen sat quietly in the back row, the only human in a class of 43 alien students. At 19, she was completing her Xenobiology degree at the Academy through the recently established Human Exchange Program. Her presence still drew curious stares and whispered conversations among her classmates, though she'd grown accustomed to being the subject of fascination and occasionally concern. The containment field shimmered as Professor Zelthan activated the release sequence. "Behold," he declared with theatrical flourish, "the Zarathi battlebeast of Proxima 7. The creature that emerged from the shadows stood nearly 3 meters tall, its obsidian carapace gleaming under the laboratory lights. 6 arms ending in razor-sharp talons sprouted from its torso, while its elongated head featured rows of crystalline, teeth designed for tearing through reinforced hull plating. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed along its spine in hypnotic waves, and its 4 compound eyes swept the chamber with predatory intelligence. The class collectively recoiled. Even through the reinforced barriers, the battlebeast's presence radiated, an aura of barely contained violence that activated every prey instinct evolution had gifted the galaxy's species. Nervous clicking and electromagnetic bursts filled the air as students fought their natural urge to flee. "Magnificent, isn't it?" Professor Zelthan continued, apparently immune to the creature's intimidation factor. "The Zarathi Empire bred these beasts specifically to break enemy morale. Their psychological warfare capabilities are as formidable as their physical attributes. Notice how your autonomic systems are responding to its mere presence." Sarah, however, remained perfectly still. While her classmates trembled and whispered prayers to their various deities, she studied the battlebeast with analytical calm. Something about its posture, the way it held its multiple arms, struck her as familiar. The beast prowled the perimeter of its containment area, its movements fluid and purposeful. Its eyes swept across the observation platforms, cataloging each student with mechanical precision. When its gaze reached the Altarians, they dimmed their crystalline bodies in submission. The Jovians released stress pheromones in thick clouds, while the lithoids began the low harmonic humming that indicated extreme distress. Then, the battlebeast's 4 compound eyes focused on Sarah. The amphitheater fell silent. Professor Zelthan paused mid-lecture, his tentacles freezing in anticipation. Every student turned to watch the confrontation between the galaxy's most feared predator and the human exchange student. Sarah met the creature's gaze without flinching. Her brown eyes, unremarkable by human standards but apparently fascinating to alien observers, locked with the beast's multifaceted orbs. She tilted her head slightly. A gesture her classmates had learned indicated deep thought. The battlebeast stopped prowling. Its bioluminescent patterns shifted from the aggressive reds and oranges to cooler blues and purples. Its razor-sharp talons retracted partially, and its predatory stance relaxed into something that looked almost curious. "Impossible," Professor Zelthan whispered. "The battlebeast has never shown anything but aggressive behavior. Its neural pathways are hardwired for violence and dominance." Sarah stood slowly, ignoring the gasps of her classmates. She approached the containment barrier with steady, measured steps. The battlebeast mirrored her movement, drawing closer to the energy field that separated them. "You're not really a predator, are you?" Sarah said softly, her voice carrying clearly in the stunned silence. "You're scared." The creature's head tilted in an eerily human gesture. Its bioluminescent patterns continued to shift toward calmer spectrums, and a low, almost melodic sound emerged from somewhere deep in its chest. Not the threatening growl everyone expected, but something that sounded remarkably like a question. "I don't understand," stammered Vex High, a Jovian student whose gas form was still trembling with residual fear. "How is the human not terrified? How is she making it calm?" Sarah pressed her palm against the containment field, and the battlebeast raised one of its 6 arms to mirror her gesture on the other side of the energy barrier. "Because," she said, never taking her eyes off the creature, "I recognize the signs. Aggression born from fear and isolation. Defensive posturing masking vulnerability. We have creatures like this on Earth. Predators that attack because they're cornered because they don't know any other way to survive." She turned to address the class, though the battlebeast's eyes tracked her movement with obvious interest. "Professor Zelton, may I ask how long this specimen has been in captivity?" The professor's tentacles writhed with uncertainty. "Approximately 15 standard years, since it was captured as a juvenile." 15 years alone, Sarah mused, returning her attention to the creature. 15 years with nothing but combat training and isolation. No wonder you're angry. The battlebeast made that questioning sound again, and Sarah found herself smiling. "The Zerathi didn't breed perfect killing machines," she announced to the class. "They bred traumatized children and called them weapons." Professor Zelthan's academic composure cracked. "Miss Chen, that's highly irregular speculation. The battlebeasts are genetically programmed for survival," Sarah interrupted, a steel edge entering her voice that made several students lean back. "Just like every other species in the galaxy. The difference is, humans understand that. Survival sometimes looks like violence, but it doesn't have to stay that way." The battlebeast pressed its arm more firmly against the containment field, and its bioluminescent patterns had shifted entirely to soft, almost welcoming hues. The predatory tension that had filled the room minutes earlier had been replaced by something none of the students had expected to witness: hope. As the class ended and students filed out in stunned silence, Sarah remained at the barrier. The battlebeast stayed too, its 4 eyes fixed on the human who had seen past its fearsome exterior to the frightened, lonely being underneath. Professor Zelton approached cautiously. "Miss Chen, your behavior today was unprecedented. How did you know?" Sarah's smile was sad, but determined. "Because sometimes, Professor, the scariest monsters are just trying to find their way home." The battlebeast's harmonic sound filled the chamber one more time. Not a question now, but something that sounded remarkably like gratitude.